what's up.
Ah, man. Hey, welcome. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for hanging out. And
Man, thanks for the invite. I'm a big fan of your podcast, and I like everything you do. I like your taste in music, and I like your point of views. I like all that stuff. I'm a fan.
I thank you very much. That's really cool of you to say. We like your music right now. We just got done talking about the record with Jay Reader. We'll get to all that. We can talk about all of your music. We can talk about the importance of something like Sassy Justice. And man, there's a lot going on, especially running up into to election day. Did you see that President Trump got an endorsement from Lil Wayne?
Yes, I did see that. But I always knew. I grew up on Lil Wayne. I don't never met him personally. I know a couple people that I know that my father knows that knows Lil Wayne personally, and I've always knew he had those views. I always knew he had those views. Lil Wayne's not the biggest. I'm a Lil Wayne fan of him musically, but like in interviews and everything, you can see he has those point of views. Like I'm not surprised by it.
Well, I remember he was telling a story about he when he was a little boy he'd shot himself and
The
how a
cops
police officer saved his life. And so yeah, he has. And I mean, absolutely, the man is 100% allowed to have whatever views he wants on anything in the world. This is America. That's the beautiful thing about our country. We don't have to agree on anything. It's just weird that the dude that popularized codeine syrup is hanging out with the president when we're still figuring out our opioid epidemic. Um,
it's that is true, but it's also like this is a dude that's been screwed over 30 years by Birdman from bad contracts,
yeah.
and he's with the guy that literally wants to screw like that's king of bad contracts. Like I understand like rich people not wanting to pay more in taxes, but and I completely understand that, but the amount that Biden wants people to pay in taxes is like only a couple percent, and plus like who you think poor people are going to rob or like kick in their doors when they can't feed their family? Like 90% of the country is not cool with living in poverty or check to check. So who you think these people are going to flip out on when things get worse? And it's not going to be poor people are not going to rob their poor neighbors.
No, no, you've already robbed. I mean, you're already at where you're at. I mean, it's not. Why would you? Um, but the other side of that, I think. Um, See, I don't think that I don't. I think things are going to get better. I really do. I've said since March that I really do believe that when this is done, you're going to see a rebuilding of infrastructure. You're going to see you're every fault in our gigantic bureaucracy has had a spotlight pointed on it. Right? We see our health infrastructure is garbage, as Nems would say, garbage. We've seen that there's a lot of missing money. Like there's a lot of things that got a lot of money over the years. Um, oh, nice. Yeah, we got a soundtrack. All right, no, keep the music playing. This
No,
is your music. We can have a soundtrack.
no, no, man. I'm quarantining right now, so I've been around someone that tested positive for
Okay.
Corona-19, so I'm gonna be locked in my room just making beats. And my bad for interrupting. I'm just my bad for interrupting what you got going on. But I do agree with things are going to get better. You know what I mean? You can only get better from how bad it's getting. I don't think we haven't had a. I know America has had incompetent presidents on Democrat and Republican side, but this is like I'm gonna be real with you. Like I personally, like my dad's a Republican, my mom's a Democrat, so I have strong Republican views and strong Democratic views. Me, I'm independent, but it's hard, all morals aside, just like off logic, like it's hard to co-sign the guy that thinks wind is causing cancer.
Well, if it's a nuclear wind,
It's like,
Okay.
you know, it's also, it's like, you know what I mean, like, do you believe, like, it's hard, it's just a hard time right now, like, in America. So, but anyways, off politics, what have you heard from me that you like?
So I heard the Duckman joint. What I'm really excited about, because I thought Jay Reader's album, the joint with In Me Not On Me, which, by the way, such a cool video. I think that, like, when this is all done and we're able to leave our house again, I think that him not being able to tour for that record is going to be one of the shittiest things about COVID.
Man, oh my God, that is like affecting so many artists. It's affecting so many artists right now, but it's been a beautiful thing for producers, because producers and beat makers are in demand so much, because so much content is getting created on the internet and they need beats.
100%. If you've listened to the difference in the podcast over the last couple of months, I've started laid off using my own production, my own beats for the intro, and I've been relying on like Skatey or like other producers, just because there's so much good shit out there. And like, if I feel like my occupation at this point is to share good shit I come across. And so
You have, I like a lot of stuff that you share, and it's just not, oh, this is what's popular at the time. It's like, I like this because it's dope for this reason, and I respect that.
So what got you into production? What made you want to travel down that path of creativity?
Oh man, I was a horrible rapper, like a straight horrible rapper. I was like trash. And I had a homeboy named MJ, and he was from the East Side, and he made beats, and rappers would come through and buying him beats all the time. And I started making beats, and I sucked for it for a long time making beats. One day I got into a lot of trouble, and I lost everything doing a lot of dumb shit, and I had to move to back in with my parents. And I had a cousin call me from Atlanta, and he was doing security for a couple of rappers and shit like that. I've never had a placement before. And he was like, you should get back into making beats again. And I blew him off. I completely blew him off. Then my mom came downstairs and she gave me a computer. And she was like, you know what? You was really nicer and you was happier when you was making music. And I made a beat. I made my first beat, then I sent it to him. And I got my first placement with this guy named Transley. And Sorry the Kid hopped on it. And I produced for a little bit for Transley after that, but that was like the first thing into it. I didn't get paid for that, but I saw other people that hit me up and started getting actually paid for beats. And that made me stick to it, and I just fell in love. I've always been in love with music, but I fell in love with the production side. So I kind of just went hard with that for a couple years, and got really popular locally for making beats, and from a couple cats in Atlanta making beats, and just continuing my journey.
See, I'm more familiar with some of the recent stuff that you've posted. I'm not familiar with the Atlanta music. Have you been able to make it down there to see the influence that your music has had? And actually, how much, better question for you, how much has the music of Atlanta influenced your own sound in Alaska?
A couple years ago, I went down to Atlanta, and I tried to pitch a couple of my beats to studios, and it went horrible. Like, the quality wasn't right. Like, you could tell, like, these guys' quality is more serious. Last time I went to Atlanta, I went to a family reunion, and I also met up with Duck down there. And I brought my computer, and my cousin, he knew some couple spots so we can go to rappers need beats, and I played my beats, and they was really fucking with them. I got a lot better. The quality was a lot better. Like, I didn't feel like I just got like outshined like last time. And I met up with a guy named Wi-Fi, and he produces for Chameleon. I think Chameleon, the girl that makes the song "Twerk on Me," and we done a couple beats together. But like, Atlanta influenced my music because when I went to the club, just to see like how girls move to the 808, how people move to the 808, how drums is set up, and I try to like mimic what they do and put my own twist on it. But just to see how people move, Atlanta does definitely affect me, and it's helped my production a lot. I like to see like the hungry producers and what they make and what the clubs play. It's very inspiring.
So when you say Atlanta production to me, immediately I think these are just what pops in my head. Dungeon Family, Goody Mob, obviously Outkast, Cool Breeze, of course, Witch Doctor, Big Rube, all of those guys. Of course, Killer Mike. But I couldn't tell you a whole lot about what people are listening to right now. Like if I was telling you I'm going to Atlanta, who should I listen to prepare my soundtrack? Who would you recommend?
Rod Wave, Little Baby, this guy named Lil Soldier, spelled Luh, Soldier. They play him a lot in the club. Like I said, Rod Wave and Little Baby. Who else would they play? Gunna. They played a lot of Gunna in the club. They play a lot of Kevin Gates in the club too. And I surprisingly, well, I'm not surprised, but they still play Jeezy Thug Motivation 101 in the club. Like it just dropped last week. Like a lot of the pit neighborhoods I went to, hearing cars drive by, young cats, old cats, they still play that. Play a lot of T.I. in the club. They play a lot of 2 Chainz. That's what I was hearing when I was in Atlanta. They play a lot of Cardi. They play a lot of Mulatto. Mulatto is one that they play in the club. And I was very surprised about the amount that they play in the club. And I'm a fan of her music too. But I didn't know so many people was onto her like that. But yeah, that's about the people that I would recommend like anybody to check out when they went to Atlanta like tomorrow.
Okay. This is where the fun part of this is now I've got to go back and I've got to like research and I got to put the links down below.
Man, your Instagram friend, I'll send you a link to all that stuff.
That's wonderful. By the way, I've got to introduce you to my friend Jacob, aka Siri. He is my fact checker. When I can go off on a tangent and I might say something crazy, but he'll fact check it to see if I'm right or wrong.
You need guys. Everyone needs one of those guys, and
you have to have that friend that's gonna like try and keep you out of trouble. Someone who loves you enough to like not let you go too far. Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of celebrities and a lot of just normal people are missing that type of person in their life because so many people want to be surrounded by yes men, and that can really damage you. And one of the things I love about working at Sule's studio, taking my beats there, he always gives me a harsh opinion. And when my stuff wasn't that good, he gave me that harsh opinion and made my stuff get better to make people buy my stuff. So that's one reason I like working. That's one of the studios I go to in town is Fire Music Studios because there's a group of producers there. You hear like all the local producers, and it makes you inspire like to step your shit up. So you got to keep that around.
Absolutely. I mean, steel sharpens steel. This weekend, we've got Victor Rodriguez. He is the AFC's 135-pound champion. He is making his debut in the UFC Fight Night. Anderson Silva's retirement fight, fighting Uriah Hall. And I've seen that man grind away in the gym. Like I understand, I have a great deal of appreciation for spending time to work on your craft. I appreciate that. Like you're putting in the miles. You see where you're going. You're creating your roadmap to get to the place where you want to go. And it's a beautiful thing.
It definitely, man.
Beautiful thing. It adds to the character of what you're doing.
So what tracks have you heard from Duckman that I produced? And have you heard anything from Reader that I produced?
No, I just saw the thing on your Instagram where it was like da 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 da, and it was like 7 or 8 tracks for like a Reader Savvy mixtape or something like that. And I was like, that I want to hear. There's like And again, it was just the one duck joint that you sent me off of the new record. Like that's the only thing that I've heard. And then the stuff that you upload to Instagram. Occasionally you'll put up links to like different stuff. What song do you like? Da 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 da. You and Mario's another one that does that. And I like that. As a fan, I get to kind of or even like just the producer putting up like just little bits of something. So Jacob up here, Siri, does music as well. He does really cool, like, I don't know, more trip hop production, if anything, just weird instrumentation, cool instrumentation. I like it.
Yeah, I travel to a lot of places and hear a lot of producers, and like, I don't know. I'm not an arrogant dude. I'm not a cocky dude. I'm a very humble dude, but I'm trying to be honest. There's a lot of places I travel to where I'm not. It's hard for me to get impressed by producers, but Alaska surprisingly has some of the. I think personally, if any artist breaks out here, I think we have some of the best producers in America, because like
Agreed.
it's so diverse. And I'm just listening to Duck's tape and all the Alaskan producers on it. It was like that level of production just from a local scene to me was amazing. Like you couldn't tell like his stuff was produced from Alaska, but all his beats are from Alaska.
Yeah, it's different here. It's again, it's that sharp, it's metal sharpening. You're getting better because everyone is reaching out to where you're heading down to Atlanta. Somebody else is heading to Oakland. Somebody else is going here. Somebody's going to see their cousin in Miami. So everybody's getting influenced by all of these different sounds and they're melding together. So my interaction with hip hop began in the mid 90s in Germany. And so the crazy thing about the production there was that a lot of the producers were Middle Eastern cats, right? And so their record collection looked a whole lot different than everybody else's record collection. So the samples sounded different. So all kinds of like flutes and just shit you're never going to hear from 800-year-old songs being chopped up, written from a kid that was born in Iran, but he's rapping in German over samples, from really old
that you can't even pronounce.
Yes. Yeah. And that's awesome. That's the great thing. That's one of my favorite things about Anchorage is the diversity. Is that if you listen to hip hop, you're gonna hear a whole lot of different sounds. It's not just you're going to have this cat, you're going to have this cat. There's just going to be a whole lot of different sounds and everybody is going everywhere to train. So like, it's like my man Victor going down to Denver to train with, UFC professionals a couple years ago. And then coming back and kind of working on the things that he learned and just getting better at what he does. Because in the winter, there's not shit else to do. Do you ever look at some of our professional fighters that come out of here, like Austin Vanderford? This dude is 9-0 because there's nothing else to do in the winter but get good at whatever it is you like doing.
100%. And that's also like with Alaska producers. Shit, it's too cold to go outside. You might as well be on Fruity Loops all day.
So is that what you use?
I use Fruity Loops. Yeah, I'm a big Fruity Loops advocate. I'm a big Fruity Loops fan. I stay with my studio setup isn't crazy. I have a laptop, I have KRKs, I have an interface, and I usually everything digital. I'm a click producer. I sample, I find the notes for the sample, then I pull it off. You know what I mean? I don't got no crazy funky fingers when it comes to notes and everything.
Are there any producers? Well, first question is, who inspired you production-wise?
Man, I'm gonna keep it real. I grew up off Just Blaze, Kanye West, Manny Fresh. Those guys, like how they flip samples and how they like made a sample their own was just amazing. I was mesmerized by the Blueprint and Kanye West production when I got younger. And when I first heard Soulja Boy, heard him making beats. I was really inspired for like, dang, if he can make beats, I can make beats. So I got into Fruity Loops heavy, but like the cats that I really grew up to, like really crafting my sound around, was like Cardo, Sledgerin, Southside, TM88, Fuse 808, Black Metaphor, and those are the guys that I kind of really crafted my and Sonny Digital too. Those are the guys I really crafted my sound around.
I have no idea who any of those are. I just want to point out that I've got Kanye. Send me links, man. This is the big part of this is the links at the bottom. Because if you're going to take the time to listen to the podcast, go all the way down the rabbit hole with us and have fun. Play us some new music, because one of the folks that I work with down here, Dave Parrott, he owns the and runs the 49th State Audio Addicts, big bass competition, bass crew down here. I didn't realize how big like bass competitions are in Alaska. Like car shows, but sound shows. I had no idea like that still existed, but it exists, and it's a very big thing.
Alaska got a big West Side culture, and I know that's big on like California and the Bay, and a lot of people like that type of stuff. Like I've been to one or two of them, but it's interesting. It is its own culture.
Absolutely, but that is a culture that lends itself directly to what it is that you do. Yeah. I don't know.
Me and Duck damn near got enough material to have an album. Me and Reader definitely have an album coming out. It should be out a little. We're trying to drop it on Halloween, but we don't know if it's gonna happen.
I got a question. Did you produce anything on the Slim Show?
I did not produce anything on the Slim Show. I missed out on the Slim Show.
Okay. So I was gonna say I've definitely heard your stuff. So what did you do on the album after that? Let me pull that up real quick.
So I did stuff with Duck before the Slim Show. He hasn't put it out yet. But I got stuff on the new album, because I do a lot of work and I couldn't turn in a lot of beats to Duck. But I did some stuff on Duck on his new album. I did Money Over Here. But but on the next album, I know you're about to drop, I got like 7 tracks on it.
Now, have you considered dropping your own project where it's your production with different local MCs, to do something with, I don't know, to throw it up north to Bishop Slice or Alaska Red, or even reaching out to just different MCs you haven't worked with?
I want to work with a lot of different MCs. I don't know if a lot of different MCs want to work with me. Like, I've shot out beats to dinner everyone, and at a time period I didn't feel I was good enough. But I haven't done it like recently. I've been kind of just like getting paid to do whole projects. I did one with Reader. I'm doing one with Shock. I got enough to do a project with Duck. I don't know if we're gonna actually do a project. Actually, no, I'm gonna take that back. We're gonna do a project together. I've been working on actually getting beats in movies and cartoons. Like, my goal is to get something on Adult Swim. So I've been trying to do that. Oh. I gotta connect, but it's really, really shaky. But that's why I'm kind of focused on like less samples, getting better at making my own tunes, and like cartoons. Adult cartoons is what I'm really shooting to make music for, and commercials right now.
So do you have a favorite cartoon?
Man, I'm a cartoon junkie. I like anything like crude Rick and Morty, American Dad over Family Guy. I grew up on South Park. I mean, I got in trouble for watching South Park all the time, and I still watched it to a point. My parents gave up on punishing me for it, and just like let me do it as long as I was good in school. So I watched South Park my whole life. It's that type of humor, that type of honest, fucked up humor. I like it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Jacob, do you have a favorite Adult Swim cartoon?
Venture Brothers, that they canceled it.
Venture Brothers was hard.
You seen Primal?
Primal. I have not seen Primal.
It's really good. It's like Samurai Jack, just brutal.
Okay.
No dialogue at all. A lot of music.
I definitely got to check out Primal. I was a
For
fan
real.
of Robot Chicken.
Yeah, that
Robot Chicken was some good shit.
Robot Chicken's a classic.
Robot Chicken. Robot Chicken.
Claymation.
That was one of those weird times that like you could get away with some real, I don't know what else to call it other than like punk rock shit on late night television. Like at the same time that like
rock.
that was happening, BET Uncut was still a thing.
Oh man, that was the good shit. That was the good.
Shout out to Joker the Bail Bondsman.
Yeah, the king of BET Uncut, man. The king of BET Uncut. Definitely shout out Joker the Bail Bondsman.
Which is a, by the way, I guess he got a production with for Scarface, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yes. I've heard about that. I don't know. I haven't heard the song. The only thing I heard about Joker doing musically was he's definitely I think he signed Fairview Treasy, or like he's doing a lot of work with Fairview Treasy, and Fairview Treasy is a dope ass artist.
I'm not familiar with Fairview Treasy.
Fairview Treasy. I'll shoot you his music, but that's the last musical thing I heard with Joker on it. Oh yeah, I'm doing some music with Saint Deon too. Like he's a dope artist. I post his music on his page. Like me and him are working on some stuff. Like that's my little bro right there, man. I've been so booked up on like stuff that I try to get work done for all the people that book me or paid me to do stuff before I try to do new projects. And like he is like definitely on my list. Like I'm gonna be knocking out a 5-piece with him.
Yeah, so I sent Saint Deon's record down to my 15-year-old son in Texas, who by the way thinks my taste in music is fucking terrible. He hates it. Oh, he hates everything about it. He hates it. It's great. But I sent this to him and I was like, I really like this. Tell me what you think. And then he said it's fire, no cap, his words.
That, it's funny. I met Saint Deon. I used to DJ at this strip club called Cherries, and we tried to set up an Al's bar for my homeboy Sule. And one thing he wanted to do was he wanted to play local music. And I made a Facebook post about local music, and this kid kept on hitting me up out of nowhere. He blew up my email, and I wasn't ignoring him. I was just busy. Then one day, I had a total bleep block. I opened up my email and it's Saint Deon, and I played the shit and I really liked it. And we linked up. I introduced him to the studio and we've been working on stuff ever since. But like, yeah, he's one of my favorite artists right now.
His song Media is really good. His song Media is the one that really kind of sticks out to me on that record. But it's a record that you can drive around and enjoy your time in your car. If you have a good system, right? And that's and that's key, like being able to enjoy the music in your car in a way that you can enjoy it. If your shit's dialed in, like if you're the kind of cat that spends money on a car stereo and you enjoy just chill music, like it's very relaxing. Like he makes just good music.
Have you heard Nobody in Heaven?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I
don't
know.
That's his project that he dropped.
That was Nobody in Heaven. Yes, I was listening. That's when I was listening today with Media on it. Media was like the third song.
That project's really, really, really good.
Yeah. So Media was the second song on there, but it was different. It didn't sound like anyone else, but it sounded familiar, if that makes sense.
He gives me Kanye vibes, like Kanye before he went crazy. That's why I like him.
Well, at the same time, there were also kind of Kendrick vibes.
Yeah, they give me Kendrick vibes too.
It's like, but it's good energy. Like that's the thing. It's like it's not like it's bad energy. And everybody who like there's not a lot of artists I get hit up about. But Saint Deon is one of the artists I've been hit up about, and so I'm talking to him tomorrow. I'm excited to do that.
No,
Um,
he's definitely he's de- he's definitely an up and coming artist. He's definitely has a lot of potential. I think a lot of people slept on him because he wasn't trying to be traditional, but him bringing him around a different group of people, more people are acknowledging him. Because like for a while in Alaska, it was like if you wasn't making cliche gangster rap, typical cliche, don't switch it up, gangster rap, no one was acknowledging you. But like I think there's a new era of artists with the Skady P's, the Darius, the Saint Deons, the Fairview Treesies, the Fairview Hunters, all those Dante, and Jay Simmons, all that people are bringing a new wave and they're killing like the stereotype where Alaska doesn't have quality music, and a lot of them cats are just. I figure I feel like someone's gonna get signed out of here in a year. I look at a year, someone's gonna pick someone up.
it's the same reason we make great fighters and great athletes. There's a reason that a dude from Juneau can make it to the NBA, and it's because there's nothing else to do in the winter.
100%.
Um, yeah, and that's what
Just like
Alaska gets slept on. And the numbers always get skewed when it gets translated. In the world of martial arts, it can be someone with a record. It can be the record says it's this and this, but on a different site, it's this and this. Everything gets lost in the translation. And then if you like, let's say you have SoundCloud, right? How many people do you actually interact with that you didn't interact with the day before? How many people did you actually have the opportunity to interact with that you didn't interact with on the day before? Because there's only so many places you can go. At least if you lived in a place like on the East Coast, you can travel. It's easier to travel and get around. But we're very great at creating our own bubble, and thank God for the internet, and thank God for the Cheerins, who are figuring out that they can get their shit out there to the rest of the world. Like that, the internet is still such a beautiful thing.
the internet has made the whole world local.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
it's how you can link up with a rapper in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's or some fucking cool spot in Peru. But yeah, you have the opportunity to do that. Some cat in, I don't know, Germany likes your
Insta-
shit. It's beautiful.
Instagram has been uh, a blessing to me. From like I mean like some rappers that I feel like a lot of rappers that I listen to, Instagram has been a blessing to me where like they've actually hit me up in my DMs. And like one thing about Instagram that's crazy, like you can get like you could drop a beat on Instagram and get 26 listens to it, but the people that are listening to it you'll be surprised. And like I go back in my list and I see people that are listening to it, and I'll be like, nah, this is a joke. Then they'd be like, joking, this is a joke and everything. Then like I look at my DMs and they'd be like, hey, keep doing it, or hey, we should collab. And I'm like, wow, this dude. What I mean, Instagram is amazing. Like the whole social media thing is crazy.
Oh, absolutely. I've had the opportunity to interview artists and athletes that I'm really into their shit, and kind of expand on it and learn more about the things that I'm interested in. Like I'm only rocking on the free version of Zoom because it's the shit. But I'd really like to talk to you about the Devil's Lettuce, right?
Oh,
Um,
Ken, that's what's good. What's up?
yeah. So I'd love to sit down and I think we could probably do a cool strain review, some fun strain reviews.
I'm
Uh,
down. What's your favorite strain right now?
so I love honey banana, and my
Oh
thing
man,
is, so honey banana is one of my favorites. Green crack is the very first strain that I tried, and I was like, this is it. I get it. I get it. And I got it. I made a donation, at Charlo Greens,
Oh,
Alaska Cannabis Club, for my green crack. That was, they had 3 different strains. My mind was blown. And here's where we're at now. We are now at a place where Chef Bombshell has her own food.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing that I like seeing people come from the black market into, you know, the legit market.
No. Can we get away from that word? Like, when we say black market, it sounds bad. Unregulated, sure, absolutely, that's what it is. It's an unregulated market. But now we get to see the ingredients. Now she gets to say it. And by the way, Chef Bombshell is the shit. She is
Chef Bombshell.
So good.
Chef Bombshell is the shit, and she's the reason one of the reasons I have a job right now. She was my secret recommendation, my secret reference. Like, she didn't even tell me, she referred me for a job, for a management position at a weed store. And I didn't know until I got the interview, and I thanked her afterwards. But yes, she is the shit.
Yeah. And edibles are wonderful. So, like, and the edible market is just going to get better. And we will talk about that another time, because I'm running out of my free Zoom. DJ Savy, thank you so much for your time. We will include all of your links in the description below. Jacob, Siri, thank you so much for your time. We will do this again, gentlemen.
Man,
Nice meeting you, bro.
Nice meeting you too, man. Stay
Pleasure.
safe.
All right. Have a great evening.
All right, peace.